I don't want to prep. I don't want to do it. I want to go back to bed. Our session is today. I've had all week to prep, and I just haven't done it. So I had to sit down. I have, what time is it? It is 9:45. My session's at 2:30. 5 hours before I have 4 guys coming over for an immersive storytelling experience where they get to deal with trauma and explore reality and go through narrative purposes that fit who they are. I don't know, guys. I decided to bring you guys along with me on my prepping session for today. I will try to talk as much as I can without ruining anything, spoiling anything in the campaign for my players who should be watching this channel. We're going to start off the prep with the dice roll with advantage because I'm the DM and I gave myself advantage. By the way, these are the main dice that I use for this campaign. I'm running, I don't know if I can say it, but I'm running that. So this is what I use mainly for when I'm with Strahd. This is what I use for like all the other big bad guys like in Strahd, and this is what I use for like my other roles, you know. And put these ones back up. I didn't give it a chance for it to focus in the camera. Yeah. I'm gonna give myself advantage on this roll because I'm the DM and that's my discretion. 10 and a 2. I don't know what that means. It's probably not good for me, right? So, last session, the characters made it back to the town of Laki. They talked to the Burgomaster. They talked to the innkeeper. They met Sally. The Sally, the businessman. And they bumped into Rictavio again. So, and they have this night and the next night before they're supposed to go to dinner at Strahd's Castle. I don't know. It's my first time running Strahd, and maybe I think that the way you're supposed to use the invite for dinner is that they go that night, but I was doing other things in the world and I was trying to mix and match these like different like story points, and so they end up having a week. Strahd wanted them to show up in a week, and I have other things that I think that Strahd is doing in the background anyway, so it kind of makes sense. But people have asked me before, you know, like how is it to prep for for a D&D campaign? What is it like being a DM? Because like being a player, you got to know your character and take notes of the world around you, but there's a lot going on for a DM. And honestly, like I said, I'm running a pre-existing module, so it makes it a little bit easier. They've established a lot of the lore. It's in an established world. They give you some big bad guys. There's already like encounters built in that they expect you to get to, and like kind of like, especially in Strahd, you can run it pretty linear, and you can just run almost from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. My characters didn't do that. They made choices like 3 sessions in that. They made choices like 3 sessions in that basically like they jumped from like chapter 1 to like chapter 8. It was ridiculous. I don't even know how they did that to me. But what I do when I prep is I obviously have my dice out for when I'm reading through the book. I have a session notebook. So this is what I take notes on. I take notes during the session as well. And these are all my notes, and I keep track of what session number on and stuff. I keep track of everything that the players are doing. maybe people that they've met, or questions that they've asked that they haven't gotten answers to, or questions that they asked that they have gotten answers to. I keep track of everything I think is going to be important moving on into the next session. And then I have a campaign notebook. I write in this one a lot less than my session notebook. And this is where I'm like fleshing out the overall story as it's going along and changing it as their choices and decisions and I'm like changing it as their choices and decisions change the world around them. Like I think my players would agree. I try to run a very alive world, so their choices and their efforts affect things. So and it's not just my story, it's theirs. Like, I think that's how good D&D goes. It's like it's a good story between the players and the DM. So I have this book, and there are already things in this book that are irrelevant based off of choices that they made. They're not going to work anymore, and that's good. That's good D&D. They should be changing the story, right? And I shouldn't be mad that they're changing the story. I should be excited, which I am. Plus, I've added and taken things out of the book and changed things out of the books based off of like the story that I was originally trying to tell. And like, I don't know. Yeah, it's not. If you watch our actual play, the cursed ones, and you're gonna notice, if you know Strahd, if you played Strahd or run Strahd or read Strahd, you're gonna be like, wow, that's different. That wasn't supposed to be there, or that was supposed to happen like this. Like, I've changed things. I've messed things up, and I've had on the fly or from future sessions from the mess up, change the story to fit the mess up, just so that I'm trying to keep it continuous, like the continuity good. We just finished what I would call Act 1 in my campaign, which was like me just like setting up the world and introducing different people and factions to my players. Excuse me. So we're kind of starting Act 2 now, where they're exploring different threads, and Strahd is taking a bigger notice of them. They've officially been invited to dinner. Like I've said, they have 2 more nights before they have to get to dinner. But I am now working on like fleshing out these. I've dropped starting points in front of them, and I'm kind of just waiting on them to bite onto these starting points. Whatever points they want to. And like I said, I'm trying to make an alive world, and so I'm trying to think of it as like a tree with all these branches, and they can pick a branch to go, but sometimes to get to a branch, it means that other branches they can't go back to these branches, and there's like multiple paths, and if you go down a path, sometimes the other path just goes away and there is no more going back to that path. I'm rambling a little bit. Let me recollect my thoughts. So in doing that, it's time to start mixing in elements of my characters' backstories. So let's see. For my characters, I have Donnie, who is played by Josh. He's a little bunny guy. I have Dormir, who is played by Dylan, and he's a half-orc, which I keep forgetting. One thing I need to do better about as a DM is remembering character choices that my players have made for their characters. Like, Dormir is a half-orc, and that should matter. Especially in Strahd, where they don't like outsiders and they don't like non-human type people. We have Darren, who is a human, played by David. And then we have Calathar. A lot of D's in my campaign. A lot of D's. A lot of D's. A lot of D's and K's. We have Calathar, who is basically, he's a human variant, but he's using like fire genasi stats or something like that. Some cool like narrative thing he wanted to use. His narrative backstory is actually pretty cool. He's like cursed from a hag. So there's that. So now it's time to start I'm getting into the point of the campaign, and it might be hard in this next session because they're still in the city and they're waiting for like this big dinner thing to happen. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out a way to like start introducing something for somebody in one of them. It's time to start making the world feel like it's interacting with their characters for their character choices now. So I'm gonna start pulling up their backstories that they've sent me. If I keep looking away from the camera, I'm sorry. I don't have a second screen to pull up our discourse and stuff, so I'm gonna have to pull it up on my phone. I really should invest on another screen. You can't see my finger, but it'd be like that, like in that general area. All right, let's see. Discourse. Let's pull up their names. So, there's not much for me to prep. I mean, I say that, but there is a lot to prep. I could definitely keep reading this book and learning more and more about what's happening in the world. I definitely have forgotten some things. Like as I like go through another reread or I read a different chapter, I'm like, oh man, I should have mentioned that or brought that up before, and I just didn't, you know. But it happens, you know. Nobody's perfect. You know, when it comes to prep, I think like my DM, he said that most of the time he was winging it, and my DM is great. My DM Josh, he's awesome. His encounter building is amazing. His world building is amazing. He's definitely, yeah, he's a great DM, and he was like, dude, I wing half my sessions, and I don't. That's insane. I don't think I'm that good off my feet. I've introduced certain like people to them, and you know they have a whole day to go do some things, so I might be able to start building in some of the things from their characters' backstories versus off of like decisions that they made. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a very action-packed session. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of big fights going on. And if you're watching our actual play, you might be like, oh, but Cody, the last like 2 sessions haven't been that. But the tension's been high. You know, there's been opportunities for big fights. There's been a lot of lore drops. There's been a lot of chaotic moments, if you could say. Let's see. Just going through the book real quick. This is okay. I am going to use this special event. That's going to kick off this session. I've introduced those people a couple of times. I've introduced them. I've mentioned them. So I've given them. Again, I want to tell you guys the names of my players. Go back and watch this video, and I tell them what the events are and the people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to give them too much information to go back behind. So this might be kind of a boring video for you guys to watch too. But I've gotten some questions before about like, how do you go about prepping? And my personal way, like I said, I have my session notebook where I keep tracks, and then I'll go to like right now we just finished session 20, so I'm writing out session 21. And I normally write the date down. I like to keep track of how often we play. How often we play. Yeah. Anyway, what's the date today? June 20. Okay. So I use, yeah. And then so like I'll write down things in the session. I know I said I have my campaign notebook where I'm trying to write down overarching story points. I guess one way to really describe it is like I use my session notebook to keep track of what's happening in the session and then write down things I want to happen in the next session, like things I'm like very specific I need to get out in this session. I use my campaign notebook to start building an overall story and mixing the characters into the story. It's like mixing their backstories with the book, and like the general idea of where I think the story is going and going to end. And then I'll use my session notebook for like what monsters I think that I want them to fight in the next session and stuff like that too. Don't also, as a DM, don't feel like you have to do any of that. Like I said, my DM said he winged a lot of it, and he just had one notebook and he just kept track of like certain notes. And at one point, he just stopped keeping notes. He said, another thing as a DM, if you are running a pre-existing module, do not feel like you have to stay exactly to what that module says. It is a guideline. It is not like a Bible for your world, right? It is very useful. It is going to give you a story. It's going to give you your bad guy. It's going to give you general factions and things like that too. But it is your prerogative to change all of it. You could read the whole thing, take the premise of the world, and then say, I'm going to run everything completely different. So, in Curse of Strahd, it's a lot of undead, a lot of like fae creatures that you fight. I'm adding things. Screw it. An entire campaign of only my characters only fighting undead creatures would be insane. So yeah, would be insane. So I'm adding. It would just get boring. It just get boring over a while. So I'm adding whatever I want to the world. I'm changing it. I've already expanded factions and added factions and changed people's around because I thought that it would be too linear and boring in the story with how the story had it written in. We are running like a hybrid rules of 2014, 2024. I'm a 2014 guy. I know it's like 5e and 5.5e or whatever they're calling it now. I am a 5e guy. That's what I was raised on. And you could say that's the only thing I've ever really played and what I've ran. But like we have a barbarian character, and some of the new barbarian features from 24 are kind of cool. So I'm gonna, because they're mixing character traits from 2024, I am gonna mix monster traits from 2024. Speaking of that, I really want to buy the complete 2024 set, but I told myself I have to get to 500 subscribers to justify spending $100 on revised edition books that I already have. So help a brother out. Where were we? Okay, we're starting the session. I'm pulling up the Discord and pulling up the Discord again. You guys get to just hang out with me on my phone. Let's pull up David and see where his backstory is. Is this his backstory? Is the site? Oh, that's not his backstory. Backstory. I can never remember. Some of them sent it in Discord. Some of them sent it. Man, I gotta go find their backstories. I bet it's all on D&D Beyond. Okay, let me pull up D&D Beyond. I might get in trouble for saying all these names. D&D Wizards of the Coast might sue me or something, or get my channel taken down. I don't know. I mean, my 93 subscribers, they're gonna be really mad about it, I think. Really making waves in the D&D world out here. Let's see. Let's go to my campaigns. Characters. Oh, Caleb. Caleb was he's dead now. But he was a character. He was Dylan's first character. Chaotic rogue assassin dude, pretty fun. Gloomstalker ranger guy, pretty cool character. All right, let's pull up Darren. Let's find his. Let's go to his notes. Backstory. Okay. Driven by a desire to gain knowledge of and power over death, not necessarily to make himself immortal, but extend his and the lives of those he cares for, to fight against undead. Darren is from a scummy part of a big city. Born to peasants who live on the street, he was soon left abandoned and taken in by clerics of his church. They raised him not out of sympathy, but of a need of help. Oh, not out of sympathy and a need to help, but as to be used as a tool. Clerics of his church aren't ones that chose it, but rather are chosen, taught the ways of death, and how for one to live there must be death. He is often sent on missions to find scrolls and potions and holy relics for the clerics of his church. They have gained knowledge, blah, 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 blah. Cool. So that just gave me a great freaking idea. See, I should have read their backstories better, right? So we're going to write down, we're going to go in my campaign notebook. I'm going to take some liberties with his backstory. I'm going to make this, I want to tell you guys. But my players might watch this video. They don't watch my videos. I probably can tell you. They don't watch my videos. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna add that in. Ooh, that's gonna be fun for me. I can't wait to mess with him this way. Give hints to boom. See, I wrote how I'm changing something in my campaign session, and then I'm writing down. Yes. Boom. God, I wish I could tell you guys. You guys are just gonna have to watch the actual play. You guys are just gonna have to watch the curse ones to figure out where I'm going with this. I'm pretty. Sometimes I feel pretty evil, and Curse of Strahd really runs for me to feel evil in. It is like the whole. It is for you to feel evil. I think I get to be an evil DM. I think I have 2 ideas for another campaign. One of them basically like high fantasy, stay in like the Forgotten Realms area like normal. I don't want to tell you guys what it is, but there's going to be a big bad evil dude. And then I have another one where I want to run like a space campaign, and I'm gonna leave it up to my players about what they want to run next. I have ideas for both of them pretty much. And then my buddy Zach might run a quick campaign for us too. He's got a couple cool ideas for a campaign that we might live stream. Or we might just make that our at-home campaign. We're not sure if we can actually live stream that one. We're gonna figure that out. Okay, we just finished Darren. I just got some ideas from him. Let's look at Donnie. Let's look at Josh's character. Sorry that I'm rambling a lot. I'm not very good at speaking. I don't probably ask me why I'm a DM. I don't know. Screw you. I like doing it. My players need. I had friends who wanted to play D&D, and they needed somebody to run, and I did it. I stepped up. Screw you. No backstory. Okay, I don't think he sent it to me in Discord either. I think he's kind of told me, he's got a thing with hags. He's at Constitute. He likes to hunt down hags. I think for Donnie, decided that the hags connected to a devil. Yeah. I think that's what I decided. Yeah, so I gotta start fleshing that out. I gotta pick what devil I want it to be and how I want that to affect the world around me. See, this is why we prep. Let's see what Calathar's got going around. I'm pretty sure Calathar sent his in discourse. Should I open a public Discord? I'm not there yet. We're not there. There it is. Okay. Oh my goodness, he wrote me paragraphs. There's the boy village, his child was born, birthday, I doubled the second on the village, the sky, falcon, the stars themselves, the villagers fought. The devil left alive, not of mercy, burning searing. Ooh. He met Durden, which was David's old character who died. They've lost 2 characters in this campaign so far. I told them in session 0, always have a backup character ready. Death is imminent. You could die at any moment, and I'm not going to hold back. Not in this campaign. Different campaigns, I'll be easier. This one, I want them scared at all times. So, in his backstory, he put that a devil burned down his village and cursed him. So I need to figure out why. He didn't give me information about why. So now I need to start pushing out why the devil would want that. So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I think I just got an idea. Okay, so this, if you're my players, you're not allowed to watch the rest of this video. Okay, so I think that the devil is the same devil for Donnie and Calathar. We're gonna call him Azazel for now. I don't know if that's gonna be the name that I actually put in the campaign. I don't know if there's any established lore on Azazel in D&D. I gotta start researching devils now. See, this is what I mean by prep. I gotta start prepping. I gotta do more prep. I gotta figure out if there's. I am sunburned. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna call him Azazel. Subject to change. Maybe the devil. Maybe the devil is trying to build a team to defeat Strahd so that he can take over as Dark Ruler. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Players, seriously don't watch this. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work or not. It's just an idea that popped off in my head. I've had several ideas that pop off, and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And I've implemented them. And I've had others that are like, that's a good idea. And then I think about them, and I'm like, that's actually not that good of an idea. And I've had other ideas where I'm like, that's a great idea, but I'm going to have to put that in a different campaign. It's not going to work for this one. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Ooh. That would be fun. That would be really, really fun. Cool. Let's see what I got backstories on anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what I got going, man. Who's next? Just Dylan. Let's see what Dylan sent me for his backstory. Let's go to Dormir. His backstory. If you've made it this far in the video, I applaud you, I salute you, I thank you. Please like and subscribe. This channel is just, like I said, like the channel description, it's just a bunch of dudes hanging out in our houses playing D&D for the love of the game. And we wanted to make videos about it. We wanted to talk about some of our ideas. We wanted to record our sessions because to go back and rewatch them and help, like as a video note, basically. Like I said, it's a video diary for a bunch of unprofessional players. Our setups, I have a map I draw some really crappy art on sometimes for like roads and battles and stuff like that. It's some theater, a lot of theater of the mind fights. I'm not even the best at knowing the rules. I have my DM is in my campaign, and my friend David knows the mechanics of this game way better than I do. It's just us having a bunch of fun and just hanging out, and it's just I get to hang out with some of the best people I know and have fun with some of my favorite friends, you know? So Dormir didn't write down his backstory, but he is a paladin of the Raven Queen, and Darren is a cleric of the Raven King, and they came to this world together and got separated, and then finally found each other again. So I'm just gonna mix him into, I'm gonna give him some of the same backstory elements because of some ideas that I'm thinking of. Some ideas that the idea that I came up for Darren's character would work really well for Dormir's character as well. Um, I don't think that they'll get into any big fights in this session, but I kind of want to come up with a monster or something in the fight that is not an undead. Um, in case they do get into a fight, I want to give them something else to fight that's not an undead. If they were to get into it, like their next fight, you know what I'm saying? So let's just. Mwah, mwah, I love this book. Okay, let's just go through. D&D is probably one of my favorite things. I say probably, it is my favorite thing. I love a lot of things in life. I love my wife, my kids, and I love D&D. That's what I love. So let's look. Do they have? Where's like the list of monsters? Is it in the back? I want a list. I want like a comprehensive list of monsters. Oh, there it is. It's all the index. Okay. Should I just throw an adult red dragon at them? Screw it. My level 6 characters. They have to fight an entire dragon. Screw them. Screw them all. Screw them all. TPK them. Start over. At this point in the campaign, if I TPK'd them, I don't know if we would just start a new campaign or what we would do. I think my characters said that they would want to come back into the world as new characters, but in the world already affected by their old characters, if that makes sense. Bet. Found what I'm fighting. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want my players to prep. Anyway, this has been Curse 20. My name is Cody. Thank you so much for watching.